I just got done editing this video. It was incredibly difficult to not only film but edit, but I do believe that there's an incredibly important and powerful message here. So here it is. So I live in my van with my mom's dog now because my mom died. So in 2015, I was entrenched working in corporate America, and I also had the corresponding Bay Area mortgage to go with that corporate job. I actually was climbing the corporate ladder faster than I actually would have liked, but it's a little difficult to say no to promotions. It's kind of almost frowned upon. And unfortunately, with every rung of the ladder, I ended up increasing my work and decreasing my freedom. And I was being well compensated for it, so I'm not complaining about that. I was being paid. I was selling my time. So I was being paid for my time, for them to take my freedom, to pay me to work. And I was being well compensated for my time, but I was traveling more and more for work, and my work-life balance was getting increasingly skewed. So at that point, I made a 5-year plan. I made a 5-year plan, and it was my exit strategy from corporate America, and I called it Operation 2020 Vision. So from 2015 to 2020, that was the plan. Operation 2020 Vision. Fast forward, I didn't make it 5 years. I did not make it to 2020. I ended up actually exiting a few years early. So I actually read this article, and it was talking about parents and children and the relationship and the time they spend, and that on average in the US, a person spends about 19 years of their life with their parents. Now, given current's probably different because of the state of affairs in the economy, but generally speaking, historically, it ends up being about 19 years. And the way that they came up with that is the first 18 years of your life, you're in your parents' house. And the 19th year is actually all of the rest of your life combined. The cumulative ends up being 1 year. So this assumes that you do not live in the same town as your parents, nor a short drive, that you pretty much have to hop on a flight to visit. So that's like the baseline for it. And I for sure was on that trajectory where it would have been 1 year of my entire adult life would have been spent. And that's because my vacations were usually spent traveling to new places, seeing new things, and all that was left after my vacation time was spent doing those things were long weekends. So I would fly up for long weekends and visit. So my family just ended up with the leftovers essentially. So actually, then when I left early, before my 2020 plan, which ended up working out to be a good thing. When I left in my camper, the first place I went was to go visit my mom. And every summer thereafter, I spent at least a few weeks, sometimes a few months with my mom. And for the first time, these were truly quality visits. I can't stress that enough. They were quality visits. I wasn't there checking my work email, logging onto Skype and checking my messages there. I wasn't hopping on work conference calls in between hanging out. I wasn't feeling rushed, and I wasn't rushing to catch a flight in, catch a flight out. I was, for probably the first time in my adult life, I was present during those visits. So last year, my mom very unexpectedly died. And that has been absolutely the toughest event of my life. And looking back on my life and my lifestyle change to van life or nomadic or whatever title you want to put on it, my decision to sacrifice or trade a stable, lucrative career and house, the thing is, in return, I gained experience, life experiences. And I increased my own quality of life. And at the end of the road, when my number's up, I will have absolutely zero regrets that my decision allowed me valuable time connecting with my mom. I wouldn't give that up for anything in the world. You know, corporate America will be there. It'll always be there for me to go back to. But my mom will never be back. So I live in my van with my mom's dog now. Because my mom died. And somehow, years prior, I had the foresight to reevaluate and reprioritize my life and just rebalance my life. Everyone out here is living a nomadic life for different reasons. You know, there's people out here that just live out here because they don't want to pay rent, or because they can't keep a stable job, or mental illness, or whatever. There's like, the list goes on and on and on and on reasons that people have decided to live in a van or a camper or truck or car or whatever, and live a nomadic lifestyle. Some people, even just because they saw the glorified images on Instagram, have decided to do it. The reasons are as varied as you can imagine. But for me, it was about prioritizing the things that were important to me. I don't feel like this life is the right choice for everybody. But I do feel like it's the right choice for me. And it was the right timing for my choice. I miss my mom an unimaginable amount. We miss our mom an unimaginable amount. But that sure has taught me that you just never know when you're going to lose someone in your life. And no amount of money can buy time back. So that's why I've been living in a van for the last 6 years. Today I'm sitting here and I'm watching the sunset right now. Today's my mom's birthday. So, he's after this is why you maybe hear crinkling. This was my mom's guilty pleasure, Cheetos. So the sun is currently just about to dip on the other side of the gorge. And I'm gonna sit here and enjoy the sunset, have a few Cheetos in her honor, her guilty pleasure, and share them with Hobbs because she shared them with Hobbs. Even though I used to scowl at her when she'd share with him and give him junk food. But, yep, we're going to sit here and share that. So I hope everybody is spending time with people it matters with and how it matters. One for me. And I guess one for you.